There is a quarterback competition going down in Indy, and GM Chris Ballard is excited about it. Daniel Jones versus Anthony Richardson. So to remind you how he got here, the Colts drafted Richardson 4th overall back in 2023, but it's been kind of a roller coaster during his time there, plagued by injuries, getting benched at one point, struggling to complete half of his passes last season. But the athleticism is there. Then there's Daniel Jones. The Colts this season signed the former top 10 pick to a one-year, $14 million deal. Although he has experienced his own setbacks at 27 years old, many believe the potential for Jones to be a consistent starter is there. The AFC South offseason grades. Our very good friend is grading it, Tyler Sullivan. He has not been kind so far, handing out his grades, realizing that he is a tough grader. So Tyler Sullivan, let's dive into it. Let's start with the Colts there. We talked about the quarterback competition they have created this offseason. How are you grading the offseason moves for the Colts?
I know, and I guess I'm continuing this path. I give him a C+. I mean, listen, you're passing, right? You're passing. It's fine. You're not, you don't have to get it written home to mom. You're fine. You're still going to see, you'll pass. But overall, I still am a little weary about the Indianapolis Colts. Yes, they raised their floor of arguably their biggest need, which was the secondary last season. It was abysmal. They raised their ceiling by bringing in Charvarius Ward, bringing in Cam Bynum. So you're going to be better there. I have questions now along the offensive line. You lose Will Fries, you lose Ryan Kelly to the Minnesota Vikings in free agency. You drafted a couple of guys last year that could theoretically help fill those shoes, but you just talked about it. There's an upcoming quarterback battle here with the Indianapolis Colts, and the last thing that Anthony Richardson or Daniel Jones needs, whoever wins this job, is poor offensive line play. So for me, that's the sticking point where I go, it's fine. I like what you did in the secondary, but outside of that, I mean, Tyler Warren's great, but if there's no pass protection in front of either of these quarterbacks, it's not really going to make much of a difference.
Okay, so what was it? C+, C-? C+. All right, let's move on to the Titans here. They finished, some may call it pathetic. I'm just going to call it measly, 3-14 last season. They did take Cam Ward, #1 overall. That was by far the biggest move. They have a quarterback. There will be another quarterback competition with Will Levis. You know that Will Levis isn't getting back down from that position. How are you grading the Titans?
Yeah, another C+. Man, I guess I am more difficult than I think. Hassel was calling me the nun from his elementary school days, and I think that might be right. But you referenced it. Cam Ward, by far and away, the most important addition that they had this offseason. In their entire offseason, their entire next couple of years are going to be defined by how this pick goes. I kind of felt bad for him during the NFL draft because I don't remember a #1 overall pick quarterback being so much of an afterthought because of the Travis Hunter trade up to #2 by the Jaguars. You have the Shedeur Sanders slide. It feels like we didn't even talk about Cam Ward, but if he is who the Titans hope he can be, that #1 overall pick, well then this is a tremendous offseason. I have my doubts about that, and most notably because they haven't really done themselves any favors to surround their young quarterback with positive play around him. You know, you look at what their big free agent signing was. It was Dan Moore Jr. It was around $80 million that they signed him to. He gave up 12 sacks last season, and just looking at the PFF rankings, that ranked 140th out of 140 tackles last season. That doesn't seem to be great if you're trying to bring in a young quarterback. That's 101 of how to ruin someone. Have them see ghosts, have them be hurried in the pocket, not having them comfortable. So in terms of setting up their young quarterback, not great. So that's why I give him a C+.
I will agree with you. I mean, there have been those splashy moves this postseason, and every team in the AFC South, you look at them, you're like, what did they do again? I mean, it's mainly the draft, and it is the draft, of course, for the Jags. Look, it's a whole new season for the Jags. You got a new head coach, a new GM. You drafted a guy by the name of Travis Hunter. I know, I forgot it for a second. We're talking about so many people. Travis Hunter. Please tell me you're giving this team a little bit more than a C+.
Yeah, I am. They're getting a B. And again, it was a phenomenal NFL draft for them because of the trade up for Travis Hunter. You know, of course, it's a little costly when you're talking about significant draft capital being thrown out the door for a non-quarterback. But I think he's the exception. If he is who we think he's going to be, if he's the player that we saw win a Heisman Trophy playing elite wide receiver, elite corner at Colorado at the collegiate level, if that translates to the NFL, that's worth its weight in gold in the NFL because it's two two premier positions. This is a wide receiver star. This is a potential corner star for a team that needs both of these positions. So for me, Travis Hunter is really fun. But overall, the Jaguars were able to fix their offensive line. They were able to bring in Diami Brown, who I kind of was, scratching my head at when they gave $10 million, but they seem to be really high on him. But again, it goes back to Travis Hunter. Very similar to the kind of Cam Ward thing that we were talking about with Tennessee. If Travis Hunter is who we think he is, this Jaguars team is going to be must-see TV. I personally can't wait to see an offense where Trevor Lawrence is under center, and on one side he's looking at Brian Thomas Jr., and on the other side he's looking at Travis Hunter. Now that's going to be fun.
Okay, let me ask you this. Since you're just glowing about the Jags, they still going to be, what did they need to do to get an A? Like, what are they missing?
Yeah, further offensive line, like more stability along the offensive line. They still need to fix their defense a little bit more. And I have questions about their backfield as well. They were able to bring some guys in, but again, not the over-the-top slam dunk offseason. A couple of nice additions, but still, offensive line, defense, secondary, those things still need to be sorted out in a more concrete way.
All right, what about the Texans? They won the division. It seems more of like it was extending contracts rather than bringing in new players. What do you grade the Texans?
Yeah, and that's a B- because, again, you kind of grade on a curve sometimes, right? For teams that are more playoff ready, they're kind of nipping around the heels of the roster. They're just keeping guys like Derek Stingley Jr., Danielle Hunter. You got to give them credit there. But again, it's not the hardest move in the world. You just kind of keep guys that you thought are going to be core going forward, and those two certainly are. But I do like the additions of C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I like Christian Kirk. The thing that brings it down for me, and you see it at the top of the right-hand side there, who they lost, the Remy Tunsil. To me, I would have put this a little bit higher, probably like a B+, maybe even A-, because I like a lot of the guys they brought in. But you lose the Remy Tunsil. That trade to the Washington Commanders still has me the most befuddled of any move that I've seen this offseason. You're not in the business of losing star left tackles or moving on from star left tackles when your offensive line was the biggest issue for you a year ago, and you get rid of the best player along that offensive line. That didn't make much sense to me. Cam Robinson, Ursary, who they took in the second round, that should help cushion the blow a little bit, but overall, that was a very head-scratching move.
We appreciate it. By the way, your Derby name would be Tiny Shock. We're doing Derby names here because we are getting close to the Kentucky Derby. Tyler Sullivan or Tiny Shock, have a great weekend. Thank you so much for talking to us.
When you need your sports news all the time,
we've got breaking news to bring to you.
CBS Sports HQ gives you a snapshot of all the sports that matter to you.
Big news coming out of the NFL. A lot of movement in the rankings this week.
With highlights.
What a finish at the final round of play.
And in-depth analysis.
Can they three-peat? Tony Romo joins the conversation.
What can you say about this game?
When you need your sports in a snap,
we're bringing you that breaking news right here on HQ.
Find it on CBS Sports HQ. Streaming free anywhere you are.